Hello everyone, I'm Taylor and this is my video for discussion 5. First question, for each scenario, what was your strategy and did it work? What was interesting to you about this simulation and why? So we play 3 sections of the game, and for the first section, my strategy was to increase and decrease the rate of the federal funds by 4 or 5% each time, and it's really big change. After one quarter that were too big, so I fell on the first section. The second section, it was interesting seeing what would happen if the federal fund rate changed dramatically by 8-10%. One rate on the unemployment or inflation would skyrocket from just one problem, like they stop exporting or stopping oil business with another country. They would cause unemployment to increase also. This strategy for the second section didn't work at all. For the third section, what strategy worked was increasing it for every inflation problem, then decreasing it a little for an unemployment problem that had pop up in the game. Increasing and lowering the federal fund rate little by little worked best, and this was interesting because you should have a balance of increasing or decreasing the rate of the federal funds rate. One way up too much percent can affect the economy and unemployment rate drastically. What was interesting about this simulation is how realistic it was and how everything affected it in the random news simulation that came up in the game. Second question, what was 3 ways that this scenario game connects to this week's course contained in material covered previously? So I think the 3 ways this scenario connect to material covered is that first, if the federal funds rate increases, the inflation will decrease. And other way is if the fund rate decreases, the inflation will increase. And lastly, as well as when the federal fund rate decreases, the unemployment decreases with it as well. So does the same when it increases, the unemployment increases with it. Also, another thing that can affect unemployment and inflation is if export and import of goods run into problems or they stop working in the US, then the unemployment rate may go up even if the federal fund rate didn't go up or down. The third question, how should the Federal Reserve respond to the ongoing pandemic situation affecting the economy? Do you think the Fed is doing enough or not enough? Why? How the Federal Reserve should respond to the pandemic is they should lower the federal fund rate by 2%, then increase it after a bit to decrease the unemployment rate so people will get back to work, as well as after unemployment goes down, they should increase it up by 1.5% or so that inflation goes down and not up by too much. I think the Fed is trying to keep up with everything, especially now with everything going on with the pandemic affecting everything in our life. Thank you for listening.